Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Rafiq Faisal bin Amran. My metric number is 2200466. Today, I will explain about the government and politics in Southeast Asia. First of all, I want to introduce my group member, which is Nurul Fazana binti Abdul Ghaffar, Nurul Hasanah binti Ali Mustamam, Siti Zulaika, Muhammad Rafiq Faisal, which is me, Amar Rahimi bin Razali, Muhammad Aiman Zayani, dan Aziz Amirul Husni bin Yazid. Did you know type of government in Laos? Laos is a communist country, which is a system of government in which the state plans the control the economy and a single, often authoritarian, which is party hold power, state's control are imposed with the elimination of private ownership of properties or capital while claiming to make progress toward a higher social order in which all goods are equally shared by the people, called classless societies. The local government of Laos. The first point is the president appoint provincial governor and the mayor of Vientiane, while the prime minister appoint lower level local administrator like a deputy provincial governor, deputy mayors and district head. This happened because the country is divided into some 16 provinces as well as the Vientiane municipality and the Sai Sombon special zones. So, the provinces are subdivided further into districts and villages. The second point is village leaders are in charge of the communities. They are party communities and administrative committees at every level of local government. So, villages are led by village head. At each level of local government, there are party committees and administrative committees often headed by the same individual. Local administration have considerable autonomy in economic matters. Next, we move to the Laos government headquarters. Firstly is the Chief of States, which is President Bonyang Vorachit. Bonyang Vorachit joined the Pathet Laos resistance movement in 1951 and worked in the propaganda department of the armed forces in 7 decades. In 1956, he was transferred to the fighting troop. After that, he became the Prime Minister in 2001. He served as Deputy Prime Minister since 1996. In addition, he was from 1996 to 1999 Chairman of the Lao-Vietnamese Cooperation Committees and from 1999 to 2001 Minister of Finance. On 26 March 2001, he was elected Chairman of the Council of Ministers, which is Prime Minister of Laos. On 8 June 2006, he was followed by the former First Deputy Prime Minister in the office of Prime Minister on 2 January 2016, effectively making him the leader of Laos. Next is followed by the head of government, which is Prime Minister Thongloun Sisolit. Sisolit was born in the Hompan province of Laos. Throughout his years in government, he has an extensive list of appointments. He was Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs from 1987 to 1992, Minister of Labour and Social Welfare from 1993 to 1997, and a member of the National Assembly from 1998 to 2000. He became Deputy Prime Minister and President of the State's Planning Committees on March 27, 2001. At the 11th National Congress of the Lao People Revolutionary Parties in 2021, he was elected the party's General Secretary and hence de facto leader of Laos, which is making him the first civilian with no military background to serve in the top job. The government name of Laos is Lao People's Democratic Republic. The Constitution of the Lao People's Democratic Republic is adopted in 1991 to protect the right of the country and its ethnic minorities to preserve their natural culture, natural heritage, fine tradition, ethics, and historical sites, as well as the right to transfer technology and the right to create artistic and literary works and engage in cultural activities. Government type of Laos is communist states. The ultimate goal of communism is the establishment of the communist society, in example, socio-economic system based on the ideal of common ownership of the means of production and the absence of social classes, money, and the states.
But what is communism? How did it get started? The modern idea of communism was first proposed by German philosophers Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. Together, they wrote a short book known as the Communist Manifesto. In it, they suggested that someday the working class, known as the proletariat, would rise up and overthrow their wealthy employers. At that point, the proletariat would completely restructure society. One of the key principles of communism is the concept of a classless society. This led to a concerted effort by communist governments to eliminate anything that might be representative of class warfare or create class envy. For example, clothing in communist nations was relatively bland and uniformed, and most cars were of the same make. More importantly, the salaries of employees, regardless of the job performed, were all regulated so that each person would earn approximately the same amount of money. The eventual goal of this classless society would be a state in which there was no currency at all, and the government provided food, clothing, and shelter to citizens in equal amounts. In a true communist nation, there is to be no private ownership of property. All property and businesses are owned by the national government. Therefore, all workers are employed by the government.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Aiman Zaini Ben Amran and my matrix number is 2200449. So for today I will talk about what is Laos economy. Among them are as follows, like agriculture, forestry and fishing, next resources and power, manufacturing, finance and trade. So let's discuss it one by one. So first of all, we will talk about the agriculture. Agriculture is the mainstay of the economy of Laos. In the early 21st century, the sector generated nearly half the country gross domestic product (GDP) and employed some 3/4 of the population. The expansion of land unexploded bombs that is dropped mostly by the United States. Military during the Vietnam War that little potential farmlands. Consequently, only a small portion of the country's total arable land area is cultivated. Okay, for next we will talk about the manufacturing. Although manufacturing has been growing faster than any other sector since the economic reforms of the late 20th century, it still has provided less than 1/4 of Laos' GDP. Aside from energy production and mining, the country's main manufacturing activities are food processing, that is like rice milling and beverage production, that is mostly beer and soft drinks. Saw mining, the production of building material, example like nails and brick, and the manufacture of a variety of light consumer goods like primarily plastic products, tobacco, and cigarettes and detergents. Next, we will talk about the finance of Laos. Until the late 1980s, the government controlled all banking activities. Since then, it has fostered the development of a private banking sector, foreign investment, and joint ventures with foreign companies have been officially currency. The KIP, that is regulates and supervises commercial and regional banks to maintain foreign exchange reserves, license financial service, and manage the monetary and credit system. Then we will talk about trade. Laos has been a member of the Association of Southeast Asian, that we know as ASEAN, trade organization since 1997 and has enjoyed normal trading states since 2004. Laos cheese exports garment, electric power, and other forest products like coffee and various metal minerals. So, to a lesser extent, Laos engaged in trade with Japan, South Korea, and Germany. Imports have been consistently exceeded exports in value, leaving a significant trade define the gap typically has been filled by
Assalamualaikum and good morning to Ma'am Helene and my fellow classmates. Today I'm going to present about non-traditional security in Laos. First and foremost, there are few non-traditional security issues in Laos. One of them is environmental security. To begin with, there's an unexploded ordnance such as explosive weapons like bombs and leftovers from the Vietnam War, including 80 million cluster bombs. These bombs are due to different land use activities such as shifting, cultivation, commercial logging, and commercial agriculture. And currently there is no project for land degradation assessment in drylands in Laos, but it is urgently needed. Secondly, we have health security. In December and January 2019, indigenous hill tribes in Laos isolated northern region witnessed a catastrophic outbreak of H1N1, which resulted in 16 fatalities. The high flu-related mortality drew attention, and local public health partners received training from US-based experts. Next, non-traditional security issues in Laos is human security, in which involves drug-related issues across the nation. Illicit drug usage and trafficking continue to be a serious issue for Lao citizens. One of the citizens, a native of Lao Center of Zai Sombun province, he said that any community in Laos has drug issues, including rural and urban regions, as well as teens and the elderly. And finally, non-traditional security in Laos. We have regime security, in which involves Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnamese border conflicts. Laos and Vietnam have made significant headway in managing and resolving existing border issues, but Cambodia had less success. Laos and Cambodia, two Southeast Asian neighbors, have 540 kilometer partially defined land boundary that has been a source of disagreements and tension between them over the years. In August 2017, when emotions were particularly high, both leaders had to intercede to guarantee a de-escalation. While both sides, military and civilian leaderships, have continued to have exchange and talks to work through issues like border surveys and remaining delineation, as well as common security threats like cross-border crimes, misconceptions and low-level tensions have persisted.
Next, we will talk about the politics in Laos. In this part, we have 4 politics in Laos, like political culture in Laos, Socialist Republic in Laos, one-party system in Laos, and political party in Laos. So, I will talk about the political culture in Laos. So, political culture in Laos. Laos' first French written and monarchical constitution was promulgated on May 11, 1947 and declared to be an independent state within the French Union. The revised constitution of 11 May 1957 omitted reference to the French Union, thus close educational, health and technical ties with the former colonial power persisted. The 1957 document was abrogated on December 3, 1975. When a communist state was proclaimed, a new constitution was adopted in 1991 and enshrined a leading role for the LPRP. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera to Madam Herlin. My name is Amar Rahimi bin Razali and my metric number is 2200445. Today, I will explain about Socialist Republic, Lao People Revolutionary Party, and unicameral in Laos. First, we look at the Socialist Republic. Socialist Republic is a socialist state or sometimes referred as a worker state or workers' republic is a sovereign state constitutionally dedicated to the establishment of socialism. The term of communist state is often used uh, synonymously in the West, specifically when referring to one state socialist state governed by Marxist-Lenin Communist Party despite this country being officially socialist state in the process of building socialism. The idea of socialist state stem from the broader notion of state socialism, the political perspective that working class need to use state power and government policy to establish a socialist economic system. This either mean a system where the means of production, distribution, and exchange are nationalized and under state ownership, or simply a system in which social values or workers' interests have economic priority. In the early year of the LPRP, the leadership declared its twin economic goals to the socialist transformation with socialist construction. Following the Vietnamese communist model, the party leader attempt to create agriculture collective in the countryside and to nationalize the limited common industry and commerce in the towns. This party, in alliance with the Vietnamese communists, uh, carry out the revolution that end in its seizure of power and abolition of the monarchy. Next, we move to one-party system. The definition of one-party system uh, is a type of unitary state in which only one political party has right to form the government, usually based on existing constitution. All other parties are either outlawed or allowed to take only a limited and controlled participation in elections. Sometimes the term of de facto one-party state is used to describe a dominant party system. Laos is a one-party state. This means that only one political party, the Lao People Revolutionary Party, or we call as LPRP, is legally allowed to hold effective power. The Lao Front for National Construction LFNC serve a mass of organization affiliated with LPRP and is tasked with involving non-party citizens in the government and cultural affairs. LPRP is only has legitimate power or legitimate political party with Laos one party state status. The general secretary or party leader is a top leader and has ultimate control and power and authority over the state and government. As of 22 March 2021, the head of state is president named Thongloun Sisoulith. He has been general secretary of LPRP, position making him the de facto leader of Laos since January 2021. The LPRP also maintain a unitary state with centralized control over the economy and military. Finally, I will explain about the unicameral system. The word unicameral is taken from Latin, which is uni means one and camera means chamber. So it is mean the practice of having a single legislative or parliamentary chamber. Thus, a unicameral parliament or unicameral legislature is legislature which consists of single chamber or house. There are some advantage and disadvantage while using this system. The advantage of a unicameral system is efficient lawmaking, as legislative process is simpler and there is no possibility of deadlock between two chambers. Proponents of unicameralism have also argued that it reduces costs, even if the number of legislators stay the same, since there are fewer institutions to maintain and support it financially. The main weakness of unicameral system can be seen as lack of restraint on the majority, particularly noticeable in parliamentary system where the leader of the parliamentary majority also dominate the executive. The, the National Assembly is the unicameral parliament of Laos. The National Assembly meets in Vientiane. Most of the National Assembly actions simply rubber stamp the party decision, which means the term registration chamber designate a parliamentary chamber without significant influence on political life. And for your information, the National Assembly was established in its current form by Law Constitution of 1991, replacing the Supreme People's Assembly. Next, there are some committee in the National Assembly currently include Law Committee, Economic, Technology and Environment Committee, Planning, Finance and Audit Committee, Cultural and Social Committee, Ethnic Affairs Committee, National Defense and Security Committee, and last but not least, Foreign Affairs Committee. That's all for me. Thank you.